We all have dreams, and we all have the desire to achieve our goals. But often our biggest struggle is not just dreaming, but breaking the barriers that stand in the way of those dreams. Barriers that sometimes exist within us and sometimes around us. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes doubt, sometimes it's the criticism of others, and sometimes it's us holding ourselves back, thinking that we can't achieve that goal. But the truth is, these barriers are just challenges meant for our growth. As long as we see these barriers as our weaknesses, we let them hold us down. But when we look at them as our strengths, as things we can overcome, every single barrier becomes an opportunity for growth. Every barrier that comes your way is there to make you better. Every failure, every setback is a lesson. If we learn from them and keep moving forward, the path to our growth opens up. Today, I want to share with you a few examples, some from my own life, and show you how breaking barriers is a journey. You too can break through your barriers and turn your dreams into reality. Example 1, my own struggle with self-doubt. I remember when I first decided to pursue something outside the traditional career path. My family and friends were supportive, but a part of me still doubted whether I could really make it. I kept asking myself, what if this doesn't work? What if I fail? It was terrifying, and I often thought about quitting. But one day I realized that the fear I was feeling wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign that I was pushing my limits. So instead of letting the fear stop me, I embraced it. I started taking small steps. I worked late into the night, learning new skills, trying new things, and growing. Slowly, over time, those small steps began to add up. And today, I can confidently say that facing those fears and breaking through those self-doubts has been one of the most important things I've ever done. Example 2, Michael Jordan's rejection. You've probably heard of Michael. He's one of the biggest names in basketball. But did you know that he was once rejected from his high school basketball team? He was told he wasn't good enough to make the cut. If he had taken that rejection as his limit, he would never have become the legend he is today. What's even more inspiring is that he didn't let that rejection define him. Instead, he worked harder. He spent countless hours practicing and improving his skills. He didn't give up, and we all know how that story turned out. Michael Jordan became one of the greatest basketball players to ever live. His story teaches us that our early failures do not define our future. It's how we respond to them that counts. Example 3, Oprah Winfrey's struggles. Or take Oprah Winfrey. She's now a media mogul, but in the early stages of her career, she faced many barriers. She was told she wasn't TV material, that her appearance didn't fit the standard. People told her she wouldn't make it in the industry. But Oprah didn't let those comments hold her back. She didn't fit into the mold, and instead of trying to change who she was to please others, she embraced her unique qualities. She made authenticity her strength. Today, Oprah is not only one of the most influential women in the world, but her story also shows us that the barriers we face can become the foundation of our success. Breaking mental barriers, a personal example. But let's get back to our own lives. Our biggest barriers often exist in our own minds. There was a time when I thought I wasn't good enough to pursue certain things. I'd constantly doubt myself. Even when I knew I had the potential, the fear of failure held me back. I remember when I first started my YouTube channel, I was so afraid of putting myself out there. What if people didn't like my videos? What if they criticized me? But then I realized this fear was normal. Everyone feels it. The key was not to let it control me. So I decided to take that fear head on. I set small goals, like uploading my first video, and I promised myself that I wouldn't stop after that. I kept going, and slowly I started building a community, one step at a time. Today, that first step feels like a distant memory, but it was one of the most important moments in my life. It taught me that the mental barriers we create for ourselves are often just illusions. When we break them down, we discover our true potential. The power of perseverance, the continuous effort, is the key factor behind every success. I remember when I first started writing scripts for my YouTube channel. The first few scripts were terrible. I'd spend hours working on them only to realize that they didn't even meet my standards. At first, it was frustrating. I felt like quitting, but I reminded myself that nothing good comes easy. So I kept writing, kept learning, and kept improving. Now, writing scripts feels natural, but it wasn't until I put in that time and effort that I got to this point. The same is true for everything we do. Whether you're learning a new skill or building a business, it's the consistent effort that pays off. Small daily improvements, no matter how insignificant they seem, will eventually lead to big results. Overcoming external barriers, a personal example. External barriers are another challenge we often face. People around us can sometimes be negative. I've faced people who told me my dreams weren't realistic. At one point, I even had someone close to me say, "Why are you wasting your time on this? You'll never make it." I won't lie, it hurt. It made me question myself for a moment, but then I realized that those comments didn't define me. They were simply a reflection of other people's limitations, not mine. So I used that negativity as fuel. I turned it into motivation to prove them wrong. And today, when I look back, I see how those very comments pushed me to achieve things I never thought possible. Practical tips to break barriers now. I want to leave you with a few practical tips that have helped me break barriers in my own life and might help you too. 1, set clear goals. The first thing you need is clarity. What do you want to achieve? The clearer your goals are, the easier it becomes to navigate the obstacles that come your way. 2, develop a growth mindset. Always remember that failure is not the end, it's an opportunity to learn. If you adopt a growth mindset, every setback becomes a stepping stone toward your success. 3, take small steps. You don't need to do everything at once. Break your goals into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on progress, not perfection. 4, surround yourself with positive people. It's crucial to be around people who support and encourage you. Find those who lift you up and motivate you to keep going. 5, stay consistent. Consistency is key. No matter how small the effort, show up every day. Over time, those small efforts will lead to big results. The word impossible is just a word. If you make yourself better every day, if you push yourself just a little more, one day you'll look back and realize that what seemed impossible is now possible. So, break your barriers. Live your dreams. Your time is now.